Hey, what's up guys? I'm really just making this video. I'm not even sure I'm going to title it yet. But a lot of people have been sending me DMs and stuff asking, how much money do you need to get into something like Shopify dropshipping or e-commerce? And I made a full video on that on my channel, so you probably go ahead and watch that. That will give you a breakdown of the cost. But as soon as I give them a realistic cost, because I don't want to go over this again, but you cannot come into something like this with no money, thinking that you're not going to have to pay anything or do anything like that. A lot of people have huge ambitions for, e-commerce and dropshipping. Like, I'm going to come into, e-com and this is going to be my life. Like, I'm going to build my future on top of the money that this is generating. And, that's fine. I'm not saying you can't do that, you can. But I'm just saying, like, if you think that this is going to become like your life and, this is going to really make a huge change, you're probably going to have to put in a little bit of cash. Okay, and I think a lot of people kind of skip that because they think, just sitting online, you don't really have to put in much money and stuff. But I spoke more about it in the other video and I gave a breakdown. But straight away after that, people come and say, okay, I don't have like any money or I don't have enough money. Because you need, I would say, $500, $800, maybe $1,000 just on Facebook ads until you start seeing that progression. So once you have that in place, then you can go ahead and scale. But first, it's making that first $1,000 out of nowhere. Now, if you search online how to make money without having any money, there will be tons and tons and tons of ways. Like, the internet is amazing in the way that there are just so many different things going on. Like, something that I really, really recommend is go look at the hacker forums, okay? So I like browsing through them every now and again. Go look at the ones kind of on the actual internet, so not like any of the dark web stuff, but just the normal ones. Don't stress, not going to do anything to your computer. But it's really interesting because you got people, commenting and stuff there who, are just not in like the general internet of things, and there's just so many different ways of making money, and there's so many ideas that come out of there which can be really, I find it quite inspiring. Like, I was reading about someone who's he's making money kind of figuring out how he can be an agency that builds the servers which does the Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency harvesting, but like he's drop shipping, but he's also building servers and he's doing like a ton of other stuff which he's just layered on top of each other and really come up with his own business, really just infrastructure. Like, it's a completely new, when I read it, I've never heard of it before. That's just one example. But those require a lot of skills. Now, here's the thing about making money, and all these videos on YouTube showing you ads and stuff about, yeah, it's easy, just click a couple buttons and stuff, that's fine. I think they're just there so that the people making the videos can make the money off of YouTube, which is one way to make money. A legit way to make money online is build a sufficient YouTube channel. Okay, that's the first thing. But essentially, you have to look at it like this. The internet is a value exchange. You exchange a skill or you exchange value for money, okay? So you need some form of skill. Now, e-commerce, dropshipping, Facebook, it is a skill, right? You exchange that skill and you get paid. That's essentially what we're talking about on this channel. But a lot of people have tons and tons of skills that are really in demand, or they have time that other people don't. So, for example, customer service. Okay, I have the skills to do customer service. Pretty much, if you can speak English, you have the skills to do customer service. I just don't have the time to do it. It's not worth. It's more beneficial for me to pay someone $5 than for me to sit down for 3-4 hours answering a whole lot of emails of people complaining and just like back and forth with tracking information. So for everyone it's different, but for me it's not worth me doing that. But for you may not have any money at all. Then it is worth you sitting there and doing something like just answering emails all day and getting paid for it, because over time that money builds up, and then if you invest it in the correct education, not like university and stuff, but the correct mentors, people who can teach you skills, and whoever you go with is fine, or you buy a course or you do whatever, and then you invest it in a business model, then that money will kind of grow exponentially. But the reason why I'm talking about the answering emails, I want to give you guys 2 websites you can go have a look, and they're massive websites. Tons of people have spoken about them. I'm not sponsored by them at all. The 2 websites are Fiverr and Upwork. Okay, now Fiverr is the main one that I would recommend you checking out, just because the skills generally are more westernized. So Upwork has a lot of VAs, which are virtual assistants from the Philippines and China and stuff, and Pakistan and India, who are not really, $5 goes a long way for them, so they don't really charge very much. So you're always going to be, pretty much charging not much to get anywhere. And the level of expectation on Upwork, I feel, is not as great as Fiverr, because a lot of people know that, Upwork is where you go, like if you just want someone cheap just to do something basic. Fiverr is more, if you want someone to do something proper. But now, you can put any skill on Fiverr. Like, a lot of you guys are good at drawing. If you're good at drawing, you can charge people for that. Okay. But even if you're not, it's very, very easy to learn the skills that sit on Fiverr. So e-commerce, dropshipping, and Facebook ads, it's not that easy to learn, and it does require a lot of money to learn it. Okay. But things on Fiverr are things like writing the description for a product. I think I've literally even done a video, just copy and paste it. So there's that. There's designing logos. Go watch a quick YouTube video on how to drag different shapes with different text in Photoshop. You don't even have to pay for Photoshop. I'm not sure I should be saying that, but you can, if you search on YouTube, you can see that there's ways to get it for free. So you can literally just learn that in a day, and then you have the skill of making logos. You can do things like, a very, very big thing is converting audio into text. Okay, so for example, if I have this YouTube video and I want to post it as a blog, I need someone to come in and watch the video and just type out everything that I'm saying. That's a skill that you could do. That's something that is in very, very high demand, and that's something that someone like me, all right, would pay someone $5, $10 to do just a video. And if you do 100 videos, that's 100 times your 10. That's $1,000 a day, literally by just watching 100 videos and just typing it out. And if they're longer videos, you might charge even a little bit more. So what I would really recommend is, I'm not going to go through all the different skills. I used to do this, but I did it more in terms of consulting, so I didn't do just skills, because I've always luckily been able to attain kind of a bit more high tier skills. So for example, when I was 11, I understood the basics of building an app, and then through about 12, 13, I was fairly good at it. But building an app, obviously, there's a lot more time, a lot more money, it's a lot more of a high skill. So I didn't charge $10 an hour. I could charge a lot more than that. Okay, but for you, if you just want to make like $1,000 just to go run some Facebook ads, you don't need something that high level. You can literally do something that's really, really simple, and most of you probably already have the skills. Like, there is some crazy stuff that people will pay you to do, like even surveys. Another great way is you can take surveys. So brands always want the general public's perception of stuff. So like, Coke will release a 6-page survey on the best flavors. Now, they need people to answer that survey, right? But people are not going to just sit and do it. So what they do is they pay people. So there's certain websites, I'm not sure if they're on Fiverr, but if you Google it, you'll be able to find it. But literally, just for answering, 10, 15 questions about a brand, you can get paid like $5. So, you do 10, that's 50, you do 100, and you do 1,000, it's $5,000. So theoretically, you could do 1,000 surveys in a week, if you push it. Like that, I don't think would even take the whole day, but you could do it. And that would be, $7,000, $5,000, literally from just answering questions. And a lot of the thing that's going to come out of this is, oh, Courtney, that sounds great, but like after my 100th survey, I'm pretty bored here. And it is. A lot of this stuff is very, very menial. That's why these websites exist. They are things like customer service, which is the same thing over and over and over again, which is just boring and time consuming, that people who have a bit of money don't want to do. But I think it's very important to understand the dynamic of, if you are using these websites, it's because you don't have any money. So you shouldn't look at like the task and say, I'm too good for that, because that's a bit boring. It's understanding where you are and like where you want to get, and just look at it as a short-term thing. Like, you're not going to sit and do surveys your whole life. If you do it for a month, that could potentially be $15,000-$20,000, and then if you take that and you put it into Shopify, it could be that you have enough money after just a month to build a fully fledged store, and then do your store from time to time and actually build up the revenue of the store, and just go ahead and do something like that. Now that's literally just one way. Like I said, there's so many different ways on the internet you could be making money at the moment with little to no skills. So my advice generally is just Google it, because you may have a particular skill set. So for example, I have a buddy who's very good at editing videos and editing photos. If that's you, people will pay you to do that, as long as you don't, again, you can't charge like $100 for a photo. Like, no one's going to pay that. It's understanding that, okay, if I charge maybe $3 for a photo, someone would pay that, but you have to remember 1,000 times by a small amount still gives you a fairly good number. That's how you have to think about that. So yeah, that is pretty much, I just wanted to put it in a video, more or less, so that when people ask, I can just direct them to the video. My most recommended way is look at Fiverr and Upwork. Try and find out what your skill is. Look at what other people are charging for the same thing, and then kind of average in the middle of that price range, at least until you build some momentum. And I think I remember you have to build up stars, like kind of how good your work is, and then you can start charging a bit more. But that literally costs nothing. So it costs nothing to get involved with these sites. Like I said, the majority of them don't need much skill, so you can literally do that today. So yeah, you saw the screenshots of both Fiverr and Upwork, but just Google them, click on the site and get started. Otherwise, I hope that helped. I do have a daily video coming out. Tomorrow, I think, is going to be a fully fledged Facebook ad training. So I'll take you from A to Z on how you can, scale up your ads and just dive a little bit more in depth into Facebook in particular. I think that would be really, really cool, really valuable as well. So make sure you subscribe and turn on the post notifications, because I am choosing one winner in the comments of every video, where you will be able to get a free call consult with me, and we can actually look at your specific situation and try and figure out what to do next. So yeah, that's everything for today's video, and I will see you in that video tomorrow, guys. Cheers.